Good everyone. I hope you guys have an amazing day. So until now, I talked about code template, which is pretty cool. Now, once you create a code, right, the next stage is to create an order. So obviously, what happens is that you opens up an opportunity, and based on opportunity with the customer, you create a code, and once the code get approved, you change that code to an order, which is pretty much the case in most of the scenarios. But that being said, you might have couple, three to four codes, and out of which, unfortunately, only one gets approved, right? So the code which get approved, that get pretty much converted into order. Now, the few things you have to understand when you're dealing with CPQ, right? Obviously, it's a very painful process to create an order from the scratch. Uh, pretty, you can if you wanted to do it. I mean, it you can do it. I mean, if you can create a new order, but that's really not a very great practice. So usually, what CPQ offers you out of box functionality where you do a few clicks and the order will get generated behind the scene, provided if that code is a primary code. Okay. Now, if you are not sure what an order is about, order is just take an example of your day-to-day shopping, right? So, for instance, you decide to buy a PlayStation, right? PlayStation 5 from an electronics shop. Now you place an order, right? You go to the website and you say, "Sweet, this is a PlayStation console I wanted to buy, and a few games, right? You wanted to buy, and then you add to the cart." And then you pay using your PayPal or Visa or Master or whatever. And then once it's done, you will be given an order number. So that order will be sent to the company to say, hey, a customer placed an order. This is the product what they're after. That's the PlayStation console and few games. So the company will look at it and say, okay, sweet, this is the customer information. Customer information will be mostly like the name and address, right? The billing and shipping address, when exactly they're expecting, and the amount they paid. GST. Especially in New Zealand, we got GST on stuff, um, and yeah, and it's like a promise between your customer and a company, right? To say that okay, the customer bought a product, and now the responsibility of the company to ship the product on time. If they can't, they have to refund the money, right? I do understand that sometimes shady thing can happen, and customer end up in waiting and waiting, and they don't receive the product. So in New Zealand, at least you can take them to a consumer court. I'm not sure about the other countries, but I'm just telling from a New Zealand perspective, this is how it works. But in general, the rule of thumb, right, is pretty much the same everywhere. You place an order, the company gets an order, right? And the order often contains information, like I said, about the product they wanted to buy or the service they wanted to buy, and the customer information, the start date, end date, price paid, GST, everything, right? Okay. Now, first thing first, right? I mean, we pretty much reached to the end of the course. End of the course, like we still got like um, pretty much like 25% content remaining. And I hope you guys have registered for an work by this time, right? If if not, then I'm pretty much lost for words, right? Because that means you guys really not very serious about taking the certification. That's all I can say, right? I've been telling pretty much in every episode, right? If you guys haven't registered for an org, please do it. Please do hands-on. It's very essential, right? Okay, all right. So I have created an opportunity, right? So this is an opportunity I have. Okay. Now I have this primary code. Okay. So I go to this code, and the one thing I have to tell you guys, right? Uh, Only the primary code can be converted to order if you're right, because there's no point in converting, the many codes to an order. It doesn't work. It makes no sense, right? And also, it makes no sense to convert an order which is in draft status, right? Because what's the point of converting an order converting a code to an order, which is not even approved, right? Obviously, your customer has to approve it, right? They're okay with the deal you're providing, right? Sometimes you have to give them discounts. Sometimes you have to amend the orders. So once the customer says, pretty sweet, they're okay to go with this proposal. So you come here and change the status to uh, approved, right? Okay, once that's done, what you have to do is pretty simple. You go here, you see this tick option, right? Ordered. You just go here and tick it. Let's see if it works. Okay, so that's done. Now, what will happen, right? The order will be created behind the scene. Okay, so it will take some time and order will be generated. You can also do this using an approval process, right? So what that means is, right, so obviously someone will approve, once the code get approved, this will automatically get ticked, right? And then if it's a primary code, right, the order will be generated, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's go to opportunities. So, and let's go to this one. Um, so this opportunity is in place. Now let's go to the school account because obviously this uh, opportunity belongs to the specific account. To go to the related list. Now, under related list, there's something called order. Here you go. The order will be generated here. Okay, now let's see what's the order. So you got the 4 products, which got transferred from a code, and all the prices associated with it will be transferred as well, right? If you go to individual product, you can see, you know, it's the order product, so all the prices will be transferred here as well. Okay. Now you can test it if you like, if you can just verify it. I mean, just go to the code. Um, it's this one. See this status has been improved, and you get the codes, and you get to edit lines. You see this is the stuff you paid, right? And you can see information about each one, right? You can see the stuff here, special price, and the factor, right? $40, $40. So probably, um, see, this is the price we see. Okay, let's go back to the other one, and just to make it clear, USB, I think, $40, $40. So the prices get transferred as well. So that's how you create an order, right? So once the order is created, and you can do activate it, and you can mark as a current status. Yeah. So the order has been marked as activated. Yeah. So and now you can see the order history. You can that's which is pretty simple, right? It's a tracking history enabled. Um, so yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in this episode, just to give you a heads up about what order is about, how easy you can do that using CPQ, right? So you just have to work around your process, right? If you wanted to use CPQ for order generation, right? It's a pretty simple process, right? But you have to have the process in place, right? Like I said, some companies might have approval process and say some companies will have automatic, enabling that order tick box. So the way you do it, that's all driven by your process. At the end of the day, it's all about process, right? Business process, and you're trying to solve a customer problem. Okay, so that's pretty much I wanted to cover in this episode. I hope you guys have an amazing Saturday. Adios.